That sounded like a clapper.
You know what that was?
Film Dogs Draft 2017, Take 1.
That was my spiked whip. Cracking.
Well, don't give away anything.
I'm not going to. I'm not even going to say what movie.
Especially if it's related to 2017.
I brought my broadsword.
Were you happy in 2017? What were you doing?
I was pretty happy.
This was pre us kind of hanging out.
I traveled through Iceland and Scotland.
Did you see Sigur Rós when you were there?
I did not see.
Did you see
Sigur Rós?
Bjork there?
I did not see any musicians there.
What did you see?
I saw Aurora Borealis.
Nice.
Multiple nights. I saw some really rare birds.
Yeah.
I saw lava fields and steam springs. It was amazing. I saw things that did not feel like they were earthly.
Best memory from that trip?
Anything with my darling wife. We had a great road trip. We hired a car. We saw the entire island. We got turned around because of bad storms.
Okay, I thought you were going to be like,
the roads out.
I was hoping you were going to say lava was on the road and that's why you got turned around.
It could have been.
Makes for a more exciting story. But,
oh my God.
Okay. You got turned around because of weather. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this Twisters?
Yeah, it was post-apocalyptic weather. And so we had come over from Scotland and then we went home to visit my folks and did a New England road trip. So it was my first time seeing the autumn colors. That was sort of the highlight of my 2017.
That's a pretty good year.
Outside of seeing some of these movies.
I think I know what you're going to draft today. What do you think of that? Do you know what I'm going to draft today?
Well, I got a good idea, but I don't know what you've prioritized. I've gone back and listened to some previous draft episodes, and your strategy has sort of evolved nicely. I certainly don't.
Yes, it has.
I don't take anything for granted. I know for sure that I am not getting 5 of my top 10 favorite films of this year.
Well, I mean, we did take a break, but it's like summer break, and The Rookie has been shooting hoops all summer, and I'm back.
After bumping up with some steroids. Goodness.
I got the roids.
There's no way that I could really guess what you've prioritized. I've kind of sort of gone back and tried to remember. I don't want to cross any lines. I know it's interesting for content, and I get it. You like to say that I'm more about the profane than the sacred. Mm-hmm. But if we went back and listened to these episodes, I feel like I have behaved in an overly gentlemanly manner.
You've behaved, have you?
I give you kind advice. I give you great draft strategies.
And what do I do?
And sometimes you just throw them out the window. Like, I'm going for your jugular because
I got to blaze my own way.
Because it's interesting. I don't even like these movies, but I'm going to draft them. I wanted to clear up a couple of things too, because over the course of listening to some of our previous episodes, a listener might be a little confused about some of the off-mic kind of understandings that we have of what those lines are.
Yeah.
So I'm going to reference The Lobster first. Now, I have visual evidence that I said, you're like, oh man, I love this. And I said, when we draft, you better draft it first, because if it's still on the board at 3, I'm taking it. I have it written down on text, and I can show anybody on request. I can even post it. Doesn't matter. That was what was said. So me drafting The Lobster was never a revenge pick. I actually advertised ahead. I was like, dude, you're gonna pick The Witch. Oh, I'm picking The Lobster next for sure.
Look at it this way: we did trade.
We did
in the future.
What I said as a follow-up to that was that I never would steal a Terrence Malick film from you.
Correct. Yep, I do remember that.
Now, off mic, what we had agreed to was what I said was, and we never discussed it any further.
We're discussing it now.
We're discussing it now. What I had said was, I won't take him in the first 3 rounds if you will do the same for me for David Lynch and Terry Gilliam.
Mm-hmm.
And you said Terry Gilliam was fair game, but David Lynch is mine. And I was
like, okay, yeah, for sure.
So what I would like to say is, in the spirit of gentleman's agreement, that I will amend from the previous, so there's just a written record, a visual audio record,
audible record.
We're recording it in our visual memory. It's on published media. I will never draft a Terrence Malick film. And
really?
I bring this up specifically right now.
Wasn't it Knight of Cups that you just watched that you loved?
Oh, I would love, but we'll have to address that in a free agency, of which I would ask for your permission. And obviously, you could just outbid me, but I don't want to drive the price up of something if you really wanted it. But I won't. The reason I bring this up is because in 2017, there's a Terrence Malick film, and I watched it, and I really, really, really liked it a lot. And I would have previously considered drafting it. But I want you to know that I will give you, first off, the chance to watch it and then decide if you want it. So I won't ever get it into free agency. I won't bring it up in free agency until I know that you've seen it.
Yeah.
However long that is. If it's 10 years from now, I'll never bring it up.
Well, I mean, there's only one film it could have been.
Song to song.
Nice. Yeah. I want to say that this was high on my watch list at the point where I was watching all these Malick films, so much so that I even got Mrs. B to watch them with me because she was really liking him. And I don't remember if I said it on mic or not, but he's so specific that you can sometimes get Malicked out.
Totally. You think you need a break and sort of change the vibe so when you're ready for it, it comes back and you're like, oh, tonight I need my fix. And you get your fix.
And it's a specific phrase, and it's not meant to be bad. But it's like you friggin' love David Lynch, but you know what you're getting with him. Terrence Malick, you kind of know what you're getting with him. You're watching certain movies and you can love certain directors for what they do, just the way that I like Wes Anderson. I kind of know what I'm getting from a Wes Anderson film. I'll just always like what he does. Malick is the same, but, I don't necessarily want to watch Wes Anderson films every day.
Yeah, like all day, every day.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And so, in the spirit of that, I just wanted to be clear. So that there's never any miscommunication where it's like, oh man, you're being an evil. Like, no, I will announce it, but I won't trespass on that sacred ground. But Wes Anderson, I will treat like Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
Where I'll say this in the sense of I will never draft a Wes Anderson film in my first 3 picks. I'll give you 3 picks to get him off of the board.
But I almost feel like I don't want to be unfair with not letting you have what are good movies for certain years in general, where I go, I can appreciate that, but maybe first 2 picks, but I go like, you should be able to have Wes Anderson if you want some Wes.
But
you can't have a monopoly on good movies.
And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, first off, it makes it more challenging for me to say, okay, there's only 2 Wes Anderson films left that I would draft.
Okay.
And so when we do those years, I'm not going to tell you which ones those are, but I think you'd be able to figure it out once looking at it a bit closer.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what they are. Grand Budapest Hotel, and The Life Aquatic. I would want to draft those.
Interesting. I'm going to be honest and say I didn't think you'd say The Life Aquatic. Not that because it's not a great film. It's one of my favorites of his. And Grand Budapest, I thought you would say, but I wasn't sure how high it was. To be honest, I wasn't right in guessing if those would be 2 films that you would draft right away.
But here's the thing. I'm giving you a gift of when it's time.
That's a gift of knowledge.
It is a foresight, because now you'd be like, oh, Grand Budapest Hotel, I can prioritize 2 other films ahead of that one.
Well, but
if it's still on the board at 4.
Are our listeners then going, wow, that Mr. B is so bad at his selections that he needs help from Lord Marcus to give him freebies so that he can just keep up with him. Wow. This is war.
Wow. Okay. In that case, let me grab my syringe of poison and hold it at your neck and say, let's click on the old randomizer.
Let's draft.
Do you know what your first pick is?
Yes.
Regardless?
Yeah.
My strategy is going to change depending on.
Dude, I've always known what my first pick was for this one, but because of it, I have no idea what number 2 was going to be, but I know,
just tap that.
It's going to be upsetting either way. My finger is touching a screen that has a Republican and a Democratic symbol spinning around. There's red and blue on this circle. Tap to spin. Tap it. So I've just tapped it, ladies and gentlemen. It's spinning around like a record, right round.
Mr. B goes first.
Oh my.
Let's go over the rules real quick before.
Of course.
So you can take your time. Hey, the whole purpose of the draft is to have a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun. What we're trying to do also is to assist us in our film draft league of where we will eventually pit films against each other. We're building teams that most represent what we feel is our film identities and is a reflection of the movies that we love and talk about all the time.
And would prioritize watching because we want these movies on our team. So when we talk to you, the listener, about movies we love and you should watch, or when we're talking about specific years, we can say, well, here's some movies you should watch from this year if this is what you're interested into, because this is what we consider is the best. That's why we're drafting them.
Also, on top of that, is that if there's a particular style, let's say that if I did draft David Lynch, then a listener that's like, well, I should ask Lord Marcus, since he loves Mulholland Drive, is there any other films that he might recommend?
Exactly.
So it's sort of a window into our soul. It's meant to be extremely fun. It can be extremely emotional, high and low and mid-range. And every draft episode has its own unique emotion attached to it. And what we do is we draft 7 movies in 7 categories. And those categories are drama. The second category is action/thriller. Our third category is sci-fi, fantasy, or horror. Next is comedy, animated, or international, non-English language. Next up, we have the box office darling, which means that films must have grossed $100 million globally or more. We have awards darling, which we won't go too far into that, but the aim is to have Oscar nominations or Golden Globes nominations, preferably a win, but in a tight year, we can't be too picky. I think this year we don't have anything to worry about. And last, we have a wild card that we can use in any genre, whatever you want. And that is to give us another talking point on having maybe a strange or peculiar film that we just want to shed some extra light on. Mr. B has won the proverbial coin toss. Now, Mr. B has the option. Whoever wins the coin toss can either pick first, or they can defer the first pick and gain an extra wild card pick.
Yeah.
So the amount of films they would get for the year would be 8 films, giving up the overall first choice.
This is a interesting year, 2017, to draft from movies, in my personal opinion. Should I defer the first pick? Is there a movie I could give up?
I would have. If I had gotten first pick, I promise you, I was going to defer the first pick because I would want the extra pick, because in 2016, like after 3 picks, we weren't in a contention for anything. We hadn't even, there's so many of those years. 19 is the same way. 17 is more like 15. I guarantee you. How about may I make a trade? May I make a trade proposal?
This just in on Film Dogs News. Lord Marcus has proposed a trade to Mr. B, who has the current #1 pick in the 2017 draft. We're going live to Lord Marcus, who's representing the Lord Marcus team.
I propose I will give you all 7 of my picks in the 2017 Film Dogs draft in exchange for all 7 of your 2018 picks.
Really? That's an odd proposal right now in this moment. So you're basically writing off a year. Is that what you're kind of saying?
There's a possibility I could address some of the films that I wanted in free agency, so it's not like I'm completely abandoning, but you would have 14 opportunities to wipe out every single film that I would possibly draft. But in exchange, I wanted 14 from 2018.
14 from 2018. Good Lord. Good Lord, 2018.
That won't make for a very interesting draft episode. But I'll put it out there.
No, let's just roll.
Okay.
Let's roll. I'm going to defer my pick.
Oh, my goodness.
For 2 reasons. One, because this is a live podcast and we've punched record and I find this entertaining. And 2, the year is so all over the place for you and me that there's a lot of movies that mean a lot of things to us, but I don't know which one means the most to you. I have an idea for one, so this could literally blow up in my face. In fact, I'm waiting for it to blow up in my face. But I'm looking at the list and there's a lot of movies that I like this year, so I'm thinking maybe you're going to go left of field and choose this one over that one, and I'll be fine because I'll just draft it as number 2. So I am going to defer my first pick, and here we go to you with your pick.
My good golly, Miss Molly. Wow.
I wanted to scramble you.
Scrambled, indeed, like an egg. I'm still a little hoarse from the broadsword.
Machete.
Okay, look, I'd just say really quickly that, as I said, 2017 is stacked. Like, I have had to face heartache this entire week by what films am I attached to? Because I've got quite a few
already.
I have 4, 4.5, 5 stars that I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
I've got to pick I have to pick my darlings that represent my team well, not necessarily my 5-star picks, not necessarily my 4.5 or my 4. Like, this is out the window. What I need is good teammates for my team. I got to look at thematic storylines that resonate with me, as opposed to just picking what might have been my favorite rewatch of the year. Oh my God, this is horrible.
This is literally why I did it, because normally you do this to me, and I thought this could be entertaining. Also, there's a lot of good movies, so now I've got an extra movie I can choose. I told you, Mr. B has grown since some of our past drafts from last year.
The movie I pick, the director's first name begins with a D. It's not going to be the one that you want. I'm sure. I'm positive the one that you want is not this one. I'm going with The Ghost Story by David Lowery. Oh, I thought you wanted Mother. Okay. Well, Ghost Story, I'm glad Ghost Story by David Lowery is my pick number 1.
I'm actually going to have to bleep out my curses here.
Just so you can see, I don't want you to see the rest of my draft board. That's in my first position, Ghost Story. I didn't
just so you know, this was always my first pick. It never changed. It was always my first pick. And why I knew this was potentially your first pick is because we talked about this. I'm not sure if we talked about this year specifically, but we talked about this movie.
A few times.
And I remember exact conversation where you said, you better watch out when we go to drafting because I'm be taking this one. And I've never forgotten that conversation, but I look at the list for movies this year, and I wasn't sure how well you remember that conversation.
I thought that you would want it, but I didn't think that was the one that you would have been so excited about, to be honest.
God damn it.
I would have picked it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, bro.
No, you're fine. You're fine. There's good movies here.
I'm not saying I wouldn't trade it for once. We could do a post-draft trade proposal, maybe, to consider. Maybe. Hey, Ghost Story is rocking and rolling, by the way.
Go back and listen to the watch list episode because we unpack this film. It's phenomenal. I am flabbergasted.
Just a real quick synopsis for everybody. Recently deceased, a white-sheeted ghost returns to his suburban home to console his bereft wife, only to find that in his spectral state, he has become unstuck in time. The life he knew and the woman he loves slowly slip away. Starring Rooney Mara and Casey Affleck. My God.
Yeah, Casey under a sheet for the whole time.
And there's not a whole lot of dialogue in it. It's
very
crazy, beautiful.
Malick.
It is very. That was what I
for that vibe.
So when I was done watching Song to Song, there was a point of me where I just was not feeling very nice. I was like, if Brent gets first pick and he takes a Ghost Story, man, I'm taking a Song to Song no matter what, because I got to have that Rooney Mara action. Oh man, luckily it didn't work out that way.
Well, because of what we said earlier about Malick and drafts, Song to Song, and our gentleman's agreement is
I won't draft it. I will never draft Terrence Malick. I won't. But if you also don't draft him, we'll go to a free agency period.
Yeah.
And I will respectfully ask for permission to bid on a Terrence Malick film, which you might want to do just to drive up the price of it.
The market.
To deplete my funding for other films that you might want. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. I just want to be super clear. In that moment, afterwards I needed to clarify to myself. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's just rubbish. There's good lines to cross for entertainment value. And then there's lines of actual betrayal. And that would feel like that for me. And I just want to be super clear that that's a line I'm not going to cross.
And for the listener, Lowery's known for kind of this film as well as The Green Knight, Outside of that, you probably haven't really watched a lot of his other films. Let's be honest. Doesn't mean he's a horrible director. He's got 27 films under his belt, but this is a 11 out of 10 kind of film. And it is so 11 out of 10 that if you are someone who has watched a Terrence Malick film and are moved by his direction and how he tells story quite often with not a lot of dialogue, but a lot of sweeping shots and a different way to kind of show emotion in his films, even with his soundtrack or lack of soundtrack. Lowry did something that would be very Terrence Malick if he was just coming out as a director now. That's the best way I could describe it, is that a Ghost Story would be is a modern, young Terrence Malick film. And it is definitely worth your time. So that is a top number one pick for the 2017 draft. I am going to draft the film that I don't like as much as you, but I do like. So I'm worried if I don't draft it here, I won't get it. I do often go over my rewatchability rating on why I draft something over another. It's also in my drama category.
This is dude. This is like I know exactly the emotion that you're experiencing right now.
What is the emotion? What's your interpretation of the emotion?
It's sending a child away from their nuclear family.
Yeah, I lost a yeah.
You lost a firstborn there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm like the biblical plague.
I'm gonna go with my heart.
I do it.
I'll go with my heart. There's a lot of options I could go with, but I'll go with my heart because this is most rewatchable for me. It's box office darling.
I'm preparing myself.
Blade Runner 2049.
Right on.
Because I already own an original Blade Runner, which was upsetting to you. But Blade Runner 2049 was a film that I've probably rewatched a lot. And Mrs. B loves this film.
Hey, look, may I speak on this film just a little bit?
You may speak on this film.
Also, there was many times, and it was almost when I said the director's name begins with a D. There was a couple of options there.
Yeah, my range of emotion when you said it starts with a D, it was literally going. I had no idea which D.
Because there's Darren, there's Denis, and there's David.
Yeah, I thought it was David Lowry, and I was right. But then it still sank in that there's Darren and Denis and David. Yeah, Blade Runner 2049, director Denis Villeneuve. I would say this is one that got big enough to where a lot of people haven't watched the original. It made heaps of money. Big sci-fi. Denis Villeneuve. Dune hasn't come out yet. That's kind of like the top. But this, I think, really shot him into stratosphere for me. Of going in stratosphere in the sense of pop culture. Everybody knew who he was.
Outside of Star Wars, which wasn't like it had its original sequel trilogy of The Phantom Menace and whatever those other shitty ones were. But this is the first kind of long legacy sequel that was like the longest. Top Gun Maverick hadn't come out. And it was just sort of taking this vital story and vital piece of cinema, and they've handed the keys to the kingdom to someone, and he pulled off like just the miraculous. This was such a good film. Oh my God, it is. Yeah,
the tone, the look, the casting, the writing, it is.
The score was so respectful to the original score. God bless you, Hans Zimmer, for not just wanting to stick your own thing onto that, but doing that, but honoring the original Vangelis score. I'll let you know, it was going to be my next pick.
Interesting.
Normally, I would keep something a little like nice and tidy, like if it's a franchise thing to keep them together. This is not one, because I figure on game day, if you throw out Blade Runner, then at least I could maybe kind of win with Blade Runner 2049. So now you've got two stone cold soul.
I do, and classics. I wondered if I waited later for this film in the draft because I already own a Blade Runner, but I then went, would I pick another film kind of for spite because there's another film that I have in mind, but I decided, nah, this is probably my most rewatched. Emotionally, A Ghost Story was my number one, but for entertainment, this is definitely almost tied for number one.
Right on. All right.
What you got, Willis?
I'm strumming a little mini violin for my
I feel like
lament to the death.
There's
of
multiple
Blade
little violins on this table tonight on our shoulders.
It's not going to get any better. Okay.
Wah, wah.
I'm going to have to actually go to wild card here, and I'm going to take The Killing of a Sacred Deer by Yorgos Lanthimos.
I'll tell you this before you talk about it further. This is where I had it as well, was in wild card. Very interesting that this was your second pick and that this is the category you put it in. Expand upon it more. I guess I wasn't sure how much you loved this movie over other movies from this year, knowing you love Yorgos Lanthimos.
Hey, look, there's multiple psychological intentions.
Are you fucking with me here?
I'm attempting to. And pleasing myself at the same time. I'm trying to do a lot of things. Okay, so first, I don't want you to feel like that you've got a monopoly on drafting fucking Yorgos Lanthimos, because you took Begonia and the anticipation draft with the very first pick.
Yeah.
How do you feel about identity theft, by the way? You know, like I introduce you to Yorgos Lanthimos and you come out the gate swinging with a number one pick on a director that had I not shown you. I guess this is above murder.
I would just want to know, how do you feel about it? This is like a Sith. We were the trainer and the master and the Jedi.
This isn't the pick that you wanted to make, is it?
It was like Darth Vader killing Obi-Wan.
Hey, look, I rewatched this film this week, and
did you?
I did, and I was just thinking to myself that because we're wine lovers, and sometimes there's like these hidden deep in, or even like, let's say, as Radiohead appreciators, as there's deep cuts that maybe a lot of people don't like, and it doesn't speak to, like Amnesiac, where not everybody's totally into Amnesiac, but I love Amnesiac, and I certainly love it for...
Who's not into Amnesiac? Come over here right now, and I will kindly tell you should like it. Lord Marcus would be violent, but I will try and just tell you, if you come over here, why you should like it.
I would only be violent if someone told me to be. And I guess if you disagree with Amnesiac and you were on my property, we might see what Gen X hostility means. It might not mean anything. Holy shit, we might have some beers. Anyway, Killing of a Sacred Deer. Also, I didn't want you to have the monopoly on the Yorgos films.
Yeah.
And it could possibly end up being part of a trade package so that you could have a complete. So the value of it is immense for me, besides it's a film that I think is outstanding in every single way. And I don't have some of these actors on my team already. And I've already I traded away The Lobster. And
yeah, because I have a lot of Colin Farrell on my team.
Yeah, so there's multiple reasons, but generally I wouldn't have been surprised if this was your first pick, because Yorgos is sort of competing with Eggers as our most drafted, or even probably most mentioned director in our episodes.
Yeah, and we can talk about it because you already drafted it now. I love Yorgos. This film was almost a bit too dark for me.
I didn't think you were hugely interested in it, but maybe just enough.
I don't mean that negatively.
Yeah.
What I mean dark for me is you should watch this movie, you the listener. But I am someone who has children, and you should go back and listen to the watch list episode that we talked about earlier, because I'm pretty sure we actually talk about Killing of a Sacred Deer in that same watch list episode, I think, even.
I'm not sure. I don't recall ever talking about it in depth.
Okay. I'm wondering if I want to give that much away about the film as opposed to tell people to watch it. The year is 2017, so what should there be? It's not 10 years. It's not a 10-year anniversary for spoilers, right? So we're only 8 years in.
Hey, let's just get the synopsis. Dr. Stephen Murphy, played by the magnificent Colin Farrell, is a renowned cardiovascular surgeon who presides over a spotless household with his wife and 2 children. Lurking at the margins of his idyllic suburban existence is Martin, a fatherless teen who insinuates himself into the doctor's life in gradually unsettling ways.
I have a hot take.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've got an ultra hot take.
Let's do it. Nuclear.
The Killing of a Sacred Deer is the mirror dark opposite of What About Bob? Dr. Leo Marvin.
I guess I could.
Here's why. Here's why. Colin Farrell, aka the doctor or the psychologist, the protagonist of this film, cannot get away, Martin, or Bob.
And Barry and Bill.
And he buries himself into his family, and he can't get him out and away from his family to where darkness has to ensue, except it's not funny.
Good analogy there. Bob?
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Phenomenal film. Great pick. You should watch this, people, if you haven't. Mainly for the reason that I think once the rolling credits finish and the screen goes black after you've watched that movie, it causes you to think. It's a thinker.
1,000,000%. And that's why it sits in his filmography. I don't like it as much as Kinds of Kindness or The Lobster, but it's certainly for me in his top 5. I love that. I thought that maybe you would have considered it a little too dark for you, but I know that you love him, and I don't want to make any assumptions about what you would or would not do. I don't think it would have been on the board at pick 7 for me to take. So, yeah, I've made some strategic choices there. Long-term value.
Would you believe that I got Mrs. B to watch this?
I would be. Did she finish? Did she watch the whole thing?
She quite often falls asleep in movies. I think she made it most of the way through.
Oh my goodness. It does not seem like after some of the events that happened, she would have continued after that. I don't know. Cool.
Yeah.
Good taste, Mrs. B.
Good taste indeed. I haven't shown her poor things yet from Yorgos.
Oh my goodness.
Great pick, Lord Marcus. What was the category? Sorry?
I took it in wild card.
Wild card. Yeah. So same place where I had it. Well, because you took that and you took that there. There's a few movies that are that I'm not going to worry about right now.
By the way, do not have Dunkirk logged as watched on your Letterboxd filmography.
Interesting.
I only know.
Does it have a rating? Does it show a rating though?
No, it doesn't show anything. It doesn't show that you've ever watched it.
That's going to be a mistake. Come on, Letterboxd. I am going to draft in the category of sci-fi, horror, fantasy, the film Get Out by Jordan Peele.
Nice.
Did you think I'd draft this film?
I thought that possibly it would have been your number one. I thought maybe it would be your number one pick. And there's many reasons that I think this.
I'm finding this draft interesting hearing you talk about my picks more than me talk about my picks. So I'm going to let you keep going with a roll.
I feel that this is one of the only films from this year that you've purchased. You purchased it.
Yeah.
And this also is one of the films out of all of our conversations about 2017.
Mm-hmm.
This has come up in a couple of the conversations. One was that you made a switch out. You ended up watching I think you had put Past Lives on, but you said that it was Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrs. B fell for the bait and switch, but you didn't tell me by like you were like, hey, we're watching Get Out.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how's that going? And you're like, it's going really good, but you forgot to tell me that you switched to Past Lives and not for the Get Out. Hey, besides, it's a totally badass samurai level, bloody, psychological, fun horror fest.
And I think people need to know, if you've not watched this movie,
it is
Jordan
so
Peele,
daggone good, man.
I can't even imagine. He's an interesting
like
crossover artist, because if you're not somebody who watches pop culture horror, which we still haven't done our episode, What is a Horror? If you're afraid of those kinds of movies, you probably haven't necessarily watched any of Jordan Peele's movies. But what is also interesting is that Jordan Peele, you've probably watched him as an actor, not a director, if you don't watch horror movies, because he is a comedy star and has somehow become this phenomenal director, writer of some of the best movies in like the last decade.
He did his little gig hosting Twilight Zone, so he obviously has that personality to like something that's a little more unusual and weird and serious, and his films sort of convey that. This is such a good film.
Yeah.
And one of the things about him that as a Black director, he brings something totally new and fresh to this tired and stale genre. And I think it's made other people elevate their games. And this is like just one of the best inclusion stories of all time. Not like he needs it, But just name another black horror director that has made such a phenomenally good film that is that has such wonderful ratings and so well received by the entire world. Like, this is a horror of all time. Like, it is so good. Man, I celebrate you, Mr. Peel. I will knight you, Sir Peel from the Film Dogs.
It's the kind of film that crosses genre to the point of it is somehow a horror comedy.
It does have its comedic element to it.
And why I say that is because if you are someone who really can't put up with or necessarily watch horror, you could probably get into this movie. Mrs. B. I got Mrs. B to watch this movie, and she was entertained as well. Same thing for me. I famously haven't always been a horror guy, but if you fast forward probably 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, my taste is vastly changed and different, and I'm able to, I wouldn't even say put up with, but respect other films I wouldn't normally watch because I felt they were put in a category that I didn't normally sit with. But Get Out is supremely well written, supremely well directed, supremely well cast.
It is unpredictable. There is nobody from the beginning of this film on first watch that could predict where this film is going. Man, it's so original. It is so good.
And for me, it introduced Daniel Kaluuya, who is phenomenal.
Yeah, this is a role of a lifetime for him. Like, well, forever. Like, this is just solid all the way around from everybody. Like, it was just one of those, like, 2012 New York Giants where it's just like, hey, this wasn't a very good team, but just except for this is a really good movie. And they actually were a really good team, but they were going up against all of these other mammoth giants, forces of nature. And then out of nowhere, there was a movie that just kicked all of their butts and took no names. Man.
It's not a super A-list cast, but when it was put together, I didn't know who Kaluuya was until this movie. It still has Allison Williams in it. She's fine. Catherine Keener's in it. You've probably seen her before. Bradley Whitford, you'd probably know him as that guy who occasionally shows up in other things. You don't necessarily watch this movie because of who's in it. You watch it really for Jordan Peele and his mind, because he is a director who knows how to write. He knows how to get the cinematography that he needs to convey his story, but he also knows how to direct his actors and get great performances out of them. This is a highly entertaining movie. Highly entertaining.
I concur.
Happy to have it on the team. So this is where I decided to go next. I'm going more with, at the moment, rewatchability films is where I'm at. So I've grabbed these.
So at the beginning of the week, after you picked the year of the draft, I was like, oh man, I got to pick 5 films that I have to divorce my emotion from them.
Mm-hmm.
And Get Out was in that list. I was like, man, sorry, darling. I think you're going to have to go to Mr. B's team. I just can't see how he's not going to take you before I get my other babies. Nice pick.
What you got next?
You don't seem easily surprised, but I think I think this pick might surprise you. I'm going with action thriller.
Okay.
And I need something to combat a film of yours.
Yeah.
This was going to almost be my number one pick, just if you were be like, I know exactly what your first pick's going to be. I know what it's going to be. I was be like, oh man, I'm going to throw you way off. I'm going to throw you way off the scent. Now, thematically, through a lot of the films that I like, I love films that are about sci-fi and dystopia.
Mm-hmm.
I also love films that are about identity crisis. And I love films that are about people accepting the aging process. And even the mightiest of heroes must face an eventual death. An action thriller by director James Mangold. I'm going to take Logan.
Okay, yeah. I knew you liked this movie.
The final installment of the Wolverine trilogy.
Mm. Did you watch this in cinemas?
Oh my God, yes, I watched this in the cinemas.
Me too.
During our 2019 draft, I was like, I didn't want to be known as the comic book guy, but I did say, hey, I don't want to say I will never do it because there might be another one that I want. I was saving that for Logan, even though like for animators, a totally different set of rules for that. But this would probably be the only live action superhero film that I ever draft. I love it. I rewatched it this week, and it was even better than what I had. It'd been a couple of years since I watched it, and man, this is an old man on his like retired gunslinger that just goes down, but has this last moment. He wants to burn bright like a comet. He matures and sees the value of everything that he's done in his life. And it is violent. This movie is violent. And I also like me some violent movies.
You do?
Yeah. My goodness. This is everything that I wish if superhero movies were this, this is not a superhero movie. It is a badass, kick-ass action thriller movie that explores the most delicate and intense human melodrama, and it has people that have been previously associated with the superhero genre in it. It's not a superhero film. It's a real gritty crime thriller that actually has some superheroes in it. Oh man, it is so bloody good. I could have picked it first, to be honest. I almost did still. I'm glad that I didn't, but because I would have lost out on Ghost Story. Because I like, honestly, I would have thought that Ghost Story wasn't that high for you. It would have been a miscalculation.
Yeah, miscalculation. And with this pick, to be honest, this draft has gone nowhere that I thought it would. Just how I think you feel the same way. Question, did you think that this was on my draft? And if you did, where did you think it was sitting? In like towards the top, towards the bottom? Any emotions, opinions there?
I thought that you probably wanted this, and we've never talked about it, so it was pure speculation. And part of that is sort of maybe that's because I want it. Maybe I'm driven to these thoughts a bit to make it more competitive than it actually is. So I thought maybe this is some self-induced paranoia that you want it.
This is self-induced.
But after I
paranoia.
But after I watched it, I'm like, you know what? This is like No Country for Old Men level. It is. This movie is about me.
Mm.
I was moved watching it. You know, I'm not the Deadpool Wolverine guy.
Yep.
And I don't know how they explained. Either way, it doesn't matter. This is like the official chapter closing on that door, and they just like they do with so many other bullshit. Oh, the Infinity Rings can bring everybody back. Even
he's
though
dead. He's not dead.
Like, oh my God, this is not real. I don't like this. But the way this ended, like that was, man, guns a-blazing. That was like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Man, so good. I thought that it would have possibly been on your draft board. I think there was a different action thriller that you probably would have wanted better. But I was like, well, if he wants to be a little different and unpredictable, this would be a good one.
I left it off my board.
Yeah.
Thinking.
I didn't think you would think that I would want it because it's a superhero movie.
No, I assumed you wanted it.
Right,
but I didn't think you would draft it this high. Like I could have used it in maybe a wild card, or I did for my second pick. So if I needed an extra, then it would be there. But I kind of left it for you because I assumed you kind of wanted it, but I also assumed you thought that I might want it. So I wanted to see where you would take it.
Dude, I live in the world of this draft for like years of time. Like it's like Inception. I go down like 4 levels and do all of this insane engineering to make sure that I influence you the correct way so that the draft goes the way that I want it to. And so far, it's working like a charm.
Really? You would say this is working like a charm for you? Okay. Yeah. Well, I've got 2 ways I can go here. 2 films, both I want. I'm worried I won't get both of them. But the question is, which one am I more worried about not getting?
Hundreds of Beavers is not 2017, dude. Jesus, quit freaking out.
Well, only you can control time because you are the Lord.
But I will take it.
I'm going to go for Wild Card.
My goodness, the Wild Card.
Mother.
Right on. Darren
Aronofsky. Now, this is a film that we have definitely talked about on the pod.
Lightly. I don't think we've talked about it in depth.
I think we talked about it lightly because this was early on in our film dogdom.
I think I referenced it in maybe a draft episode, but I don't think we've talked about it. I love it. My goodness.
It's another film kind of like how we talk about Get Out. It's cross-genre. Aronofsky, who, if you've not watched his movies before, very famous for Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream, The Fountain,
Pi. The Wrestler.
Recently, The Whale, that got a lot of award buzz, which you would know.
And Best Actor, yeah.
Best Actor. If you've watched his stuff, he's out there. He does out there stuff. And this film is out there. And he gives us some Javier Bardem, who is badass in this movie. Not badass like No Country for Old Men, a whole different kind of Javier, which is why I love Javier, because he can continually shapeshift into, like in this film, this quiet, kind, compassionate lover.
You know, here's the thing that I love about, like, after we saw The Beast, was we have wildly different takes on characters and narratives and what things mean, which is why I love films that don't lay it out and tell you exactly how to feel about it, because it's more interesting conversations.
I feel like this is a film that I want the viewer, the listener, to watch.
I will not talk anything more about it. It was almost my number one pick.
Yeah. This film is another film you showed me.
I divorced myself from it because I thought that it was going to, I thought this was going to be your number one pick.
If you were to do this draft probably 6 months to a year ago, it probably would have been number one. But that's how much I've shifted and changed.
I take it.
In the last year.
It's a great pick. It was coming up. It was coming up for me.
Yeah. I kind of thought I had more connection with it, so I wasn't sure if you were going to draft it right away, but I left it off so far, and you haven't picked it yet. So I decided it's time. I'm worried that if I don't draft it now, this would potentially be your next pick. It has tinges of drama, horror, thriller. Letterboxd gives a good description without giving anything away from the film. And it just says a couple's relationship is tested when uninvited guests arrive at their home, disrupting their tranquil existence. It's a film you need to watch, and it's a film you then need to read about when it's done, because I loved when you showed me this film, you kind of gave a bit of background to get me to watch it so that I wasn't freaked out, but also...
But I don't think I completely spoiled it, right?
You didn't, but...
I think I promised...
I think it would help. I think it would help maybe for the viewer, because we can always cut this out.
I think I promised at the end that you would understand why I recommended it. I don't think that I wouldn't be the type of person that would have given too much more than that. Other than to be like, dude, if you trust me, and I promise you that at the end of this movie, you will understand why I recommended it. I feel like I'm paraphrasing, but that would have been along the lines. Half of the enjoyment of this movie is after the movie's over.
Dare we say it's a metaphor?
Let's not talk anymore about it. Just go see it.
Just go see it. Yeah, 100%.
It's on Stan in Australia.
And it's another film that I was able to, whether she liked it or not, force Mrs. B to watch. So it's another film where it is that cross genre. Let's be honest and open. Get Out has tinges of horror, tinges of violence. Mother has tinges of horror.
It is not well reviewed.
And violence.
It is not universally, globally well reviewed, but the film dogs are big fans. I definitely get it. It's 5-star film for me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad to have it on my team. What you got?
All right. I'm going in the category of awards, darling.
I wondered what you were going to put here, because I know what mine is.
The best costume design winner of 2017.
Mr. B.
Which was the 2018 Oscars. By Mr. Paul Thomas Anderson. Phantom Thread.
I left this for you. Did you know that? Did you get that feeling that I was leaving it for you?
No.
This was a gentlemanly move.
Okay, right on. Hey, well,
I didn't want to bring anything up earlier pre-recording, because you were telling me about all the nice things of directors and you won't draft Malick and that sort of thing. I left this one kind of on purpose. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well,
it is on my list. I think it would have been semi-high-ish on my list because of the year, but there was a love that I knew you had for this film.
Out of all the PTA films that I know that we, I think we've seen them all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this would be at the bottom of, it would be like Wes's Darjeeling Limited, where it's not your favorite. You would take it if it was available, but if you don't have it, it wasn't going to crush your soul. So, The Phantom Thread by director, the master. And by master, I mean like a super master. Like he'll put a full Nelson on you in the wrestling ring and crush your blast wind out of your throat and then shove his films down your throat and make you love him. And you will. Maybe by hypnosis. Who knows? He's got this weird techniques that nobody can really understand. He's a strange man.
You have to climb into the Himalayan mountains to understand.
Man, like I would love to get Fiona Apple as a guest on our show and give us some good old PTA stories. Fiona, if you'd like to hang, we're also musicians. We could do some cover songs of any artist you like, including yourself. We love you very much. Mi amor. The Phantom Thread, just a brief synopsis.
I was going to ask for that.
Here's what Letterboxd has to say about the Phantom Thread.
We love you, Letterboxd.
We love you so much. In 1950s London, a renowned dressmaker's meticulous lifestyle begins drastically changing as his relationship with his young muse intensifies. I can't say enough about this film. First off, Johnny Greenwood does a score, and it's amazing. Now, if you're a Radiohead fan, you're not going to be satisfied purely by Johnny Greenwood's soundtrack. But if you have watched PTA's other films that have been scored by Johnny Greenwood, you should really watch this movie for no other reason than to listen to the soundtrack going on. It is amazing. Daniel Day-Lewis gave a lot of insight into what he thought his character would have been listening to in the 50s, and it was like these Bach two-part inventions, and Johnny Greenwood brought that sort of vibe into his own original compositions. Like, just from the score aspect, PTA proved that this is one of the reasons I love this film. This is so far outside of what we would ever expect from any kind of American movie director. He made a British movie, and I mean like a classic all-time British movie, like as good as Lawrence of Arabia, in the sense that it has nothing American in this movie. You would not guess ever that an American could have made this movie. Like he paid so much homage to all of these great 40s and 50s and 60s, 70s English directors. Man, it was superb. The attention to detail in Daniel Day-Lewis's performance as a tailor, like the best tailor that's ever lived ever in any universe, and the rags to riches story of his muse, who was it was her film debut. My God, there's so many great things about this movie. It just sort of defies the logic of where his movies can go. You could just never expect it. I thought that The Phantom Thread was going to be sort of like this dark Boogie Nights meets, I don't know. I always expect Boogie Nights from PTA, even though he rarely ever delivered. Like, he doesn't ever do that. I guess Licorice Pizza kind of went into that sort of territory of modern California. Not necessarily in the same exact themes, but this was just so different and so left of field. And I think that because it sits lower on your PTA scale, I don't think it's as much of a slap in the face as, let's say, like Inherent Vice might be. So let that be said right now, that when it comes time for that draft night.
But you need to stop giving away movies you want on this pod.
But maybe that's not what I'm doing.
Are you fucking with me?
Maybe it's a bluff. I am fucking with you. So, The Phantom Thread, an awards darling that won the Academy Award for Best Costume Design.
Yeah, DDL, Vicky Creeps, phenomenal. Good pick. Like I said, I left it for you. Thank you. Because you took that one, it does give me further clarity to my board. So now I know kind of what I can take and where and why and how. So I'm almost a bit relieved now that it's off the board, because if you didn't take it, I was going to take it, but I kind of wanted to leave it for you. It was affecting other picks. So now it's freed me up. It's freed the team. It's freed the boys. I am going to go for action thriller. And this was directed by brothers, Josh and Benny Safdie, and it is Good Time, starring Robert Pattinson.
On Sunday, it was almost my number one pick.
I knew you were vibing on this film, but then I knew you rewatched, and I wondered where everything was sitting, because you mentioned you were rewatching a bunch of these films for this draft.
Prior to me rewatching Logan, of which I was strangely affected by, I was like, while watching Logan, I was like, you know what, this is maybe not on brand for me, but this is out of all the films I watched, It was the one that I enjoyed watching the most and I'm most emotionally connected with. And I've rewatched all of the movies this week, except for Ghost Story, because I couldn't find it. I should just go ahead and buy it. I knew where that was for me. We've talked about it so much, and it was love at first sight. Anyway, I want to go a little bit off brand. That wouldn't seem like the natural consensus number one pick, but out of the, I guess, the desire to be unpredictable, I was very, very seriously considering that being my number one pick.
It's a good film. We've compared it to Martin Scorsese's After Hours with feeling and vibe and neon and color and tone being trapped in New York late at night and just life getting impossibly absurd.
This is a jazz piece. It's a New York jazz piece. And what I mean by that is that you start off in this nice space where everything's nice and calm and baseline, and then tension is introduced. And the possibility of this tension being reduced is teased. And then the tension gets higher. And then the complete resolution of this tension is teased, but the tension gets stronger. And then again, and everything just builds on that. And everything, like, this is what's so great about After Hours is like, we just want some resolution. This guy just needs like 30 seconds of peace, 30 seconds. And then everything gets dialed up to be even more intense. And this is exactly the same. This is such a great pick.
I was worried I wasn't going to get this and Mother.
I would have taken Mother more close to the end. And like, here's the thing. By me watching Logan, it just resonated me because as a Gen Xer, I feel that story so much more. Like, it is so compatible with The Color of Money that I've drafted and No Country for Old Men that I've drafted. Like, it's talking about heroes getting old and can't do their job anymore. And that's realistic as opposed to like James Bond that never dies or Marvel Cinematic Universe where everybody dies and comes back to life. I'm reintroducing talking about Logan, and I don't mean to. It's talking about the power of this is the reason that I didn't draft Good Times was because something more resonant in my life. I think this film is badass as fuck. It is so good. Like, this is a kick-ass. This is a win the draft type of pick. It just did not. It just didn't hit me.
It wasn't on your frequency right now.
It didn't hit me in the chest. Where like it's been a while since I've seen Logan, and the last time I saw Logan, I wasn't feeling as old as I am now.
Yeah.
The same with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like all of these themes are really resonant for me. Like I'm not boo-hooing but I love like directors that can tackle this in such a unique way. But that's like, bam! I'll tell you what, Good Times.
Good Times is a good time. Watch it.
Super underwatched, super underrated. It should not be for cinephiles only. This is such a great movie.
I don't even know if this is for cinephiles at all. That's how good this movie is. This is an everyday watch that people would go, wow, people make movies like this still? This is one I haven't gotten Mrs. B to watch yet, but it's one I could get her to watch, and I think at moments where she would be entertained, because the test with Mrs. B, because she quite often likes to work in the background of movies, is can I pick something that interests her enough for her to shut her laptop?
But Robert Pattinson off-brand, like
100%.
It gives a wider range to appreciate what I suspect women love about his performance is like Twilight made him who he is, and I'm not disrespecting that in any kind of way. Like, it's not my particular brand. I'm not disrespecting to give him a different type of role where it's not sexy and it's not charming and it's not romantic, where he's this, it's not a romance at all. I think that it gives him more power for people that love him in that range to be like, oh my God, he's such a good actor. Like with Leo. You know, because he was teen heartthrob, and then he started doing serious crime dramas with Martin Scorsese, and now he's greatest of all time. So why wouldn't Pattinson want to do the same thing? And it's paid off wonderfully. And man, and he is such a great actor. Like, he is, in his generation, toppest of the top tiers. Give this guy some awards love. He's so good.
Oh, yeah. And God bless the Safdie brothers. What you got up next?
All right.
On the Film Dogs Film Hour.
I shot myself in a couple of feet.
I thought you may have.
I'm going to go in international. I'm going with
comedy animated international.
Well, the specific genre of the comedy international animated category, I'm taking an international film. a non-English language film by Coralie Forja.
Nice.
Revenge.
Tell us about it. I haven't seen it.
Recent watch for me. I love foreign films, and I love The Substance, and I love Reality Plus, which brings us very quickly to the movie recommendation of the week. Movie, spelled M-U-B-I.
B for Mr. B?
Maybe. This is the app that if you don't have, you're a loser.
You're paying for all these other things already, but this is something that's actually worth your monthly subscription.
Movie recommendation of the week. I am recommending, Lord Marcus recommends to you, the movie The Sacrifice by Andrei Tarkovsky. I'm not going to say much about it, except that if you know anything about Andrei Tarkovsky, then you would know that this film will either complete your journey. It was his last and final film, and he paid homage to his best director friend, Ingmar Bergman, and shot it on his home island where most of his films, including Seventh Seal, had been filmed.
Nice.
And he paid homage to him, and this was a very Ingmar Bergman film. It deals with a family that is, well, more particular, a retired actor, and his family reunion is interrupted by the news of an oncoming nuclear war. And he promises to two different divine providences that he will do whatever it takes and make whatever sacrifice that it takes in order for this to not be true. And how it explores, like, this is it's an almost 3-hour movie. It's a foreign language film, and it's by a Russian director. It's in subtitles, but it's been made in a Swedish province and the Faroe Islands. But it is so masterful. If you like philosophical movies, if you like spiritual movies, this tackles the weight of the most important of human souls that are so deep, dark, down inside of us that a lot of people will be bored by it, but it tackles these great philosophical themes. Super huge 5-star film for me. I have drafted this film. I came to it through Mubi. It increased my already God-level love for Tarkovsky. It took it even further, and it got me to watch a couple more of his films. And like you, Mr. B, with Terrence Malick, there's only so much that you can do at a time when you've had this short amount of time, when you've had this concentrated dose of some of the best filmmaking of all time. I'm telling you, Best Films is one of the best films that has ever been made, exclusive on Mubi. If you're somewhere else than Australia, guess what? I don't know.
Well, if you go to our episode notes, there will be a link to get a free 30-day trial of Mubi, because the film dogs always say life is too short for bad cinema, and Mubi gives you good cinema.
If you've made it this far into this episode, then you will know that The Sacrifice is for you. And that will conclude this sponsorship.
Ooh,
Back to Revenge by Coralie Forja. Hey, I know you haven't seen this film. Well, I feel like we talked about it very briefly, maybe on a watch list. If we haven't, I'll just give a really brief synopsis. It is by the director of The Substance.
Yeah.
So originally it was like we could not get to a theater that was showing The Substance for its entire run. And it was sort of advertised, well, it's going to be showing on, it's a movie production and it's coming out.
Yeah.
That was Mubi America, or Mubi non-Australia anyway. But they did have this movie, and I was really looking forward to The Substance. It's like, I'm going to have to settle for Revenge, which turned out to not be settling at all. So effing good. I'll give you the synopsis real quick. Jen's romantic getaway with her wealthy, married boyfriend is disrupted when his friends arrive for an impromptu hunting trip. Tension mounts at the house until the situation culminates in an unexpected way. First off, it's directed by a woman, so I don't feel so bad. There's a couple of types of content that occur in real life and in film that make me very upset and disturbed. And one of these things happens in this movie, but it's made by a woman. And so I feel that like I was able to maybe sort of power through that a little bit better. But what ensues is it's just super badass revenge story by a very legitimately, like I can just see that this woman was making, as a child, had the video cam filming little Barbie short films or things that little girls do until they decide it's like, oh, the world's a much bigger and darker place. And we'll talk about that. I think all of her themes, everything that I've seen have been so relevant and so female in character, but so human in character that it's not like watching something that is made particularly just for women. And even if it is, as a man, watching her movies that are very female positive, I love, if they're not female positive, they are positive about examining females' places in society. What, like, dude, I worship in everything about that. Like, no matter what the context of the story, if it is about female empowerment or female equality, especially, you count me in as a big fan.
Nice.
Boom. So, Revenge by Coralie Farjar.
I am going to have to jump to drama. Save the drama for your mama. I think this is where we are no longer chasing each other for movies from this year.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest.
Cool.
I feel like it's a safe space. I don't know if you're aware of this film. It would also fit in a different bracket, but because of you took Phantom Thread, this was my backup to Phantom Thread in drama. I've still got Award Darling, but Box Office Darling was always Blade Runner for me. I didn't have anything else in that category. So that's why I was worried if you're gonna steal it from me before I could get to Blade Runner. I am taking The Disaster Artist by James Franco. Are you aware of this film?
Yes, I have not seen it though.
You haven't seen it?
I have not.
When you want to laugh, watch this movie. Directed by Franco, James, but starring brother Dave. James Franco is in it as well as kind of the supporting / lead opposite his brother. And it's based on the true story of Tommy Wiseau. And this story is so outlandish that you almost need to have read about it or heard about it before you watch this movie. But if you haven't, we will forgive you. An aspiring actor in Hollywood meets an enigmatic stranger by the name of Tommy Wiseau. And the meeting leads the actor down a path nobody could have predicted, creating the worst movie ever made. It's a comedy. It's a drama. It's based on a true story. And it is phenomenal. We also get Seth Rogen in the film back when they were all still acting and playing together. We don't hear much from James Franco these days, but this was 2017. He was still actively doing a lot more film stuff. And regardless of who you like or don't like and why, it is a funny film. It's a very interesting story. And it's well done. It's another one that Mrs. B has watched. I've watched it multiple times. It's so funny and so out there that it is the kind of film that you can rewatch over and over again. And I've had Mrs. B suggest, hey, do you want to watch The Disaster Artist again? That's how funny it is. So it's worth your time when you need a next comedy. Where you going to go from here? Because I actually don't know.
Pardon the interruption, folks. It's time for our regularly scheduled broadcast of Worse Than or Better Than Garden State. The Disaster Artist, Mr. B,
Ooh.
Better Than or Worse Than Garden State.
This, I might go out on a limb almost and say they're neck and neck.
Oh my goodness.
Almost to the point to where I would pick Garden State, which is a first in the Film Dogs history. Not because I'm crapping on Garden State. I think it's a funny question / segment that you throw into the Film Dogs because I don't actually hate the movie. In fact, I love the soundtrack and I find the story all right. It introduced me to some different sides of actors that I liked, but it's hard to throw it up against a comedy like The Disaster Artist.
You've heard it here first, folks. Equal to Garden State, which was not a choice. Back to our regularly
We're the Film Dogs. We
scheduled
make
program.
we make up our own rules. That's why people listen to us.
Boom. The disaster artist.
Only Jedis live in absolutes, Lord Marcus. Oh, no, sorry, only Siths. I butchered that quote.
You butchered it good. All right, I'm going to have to go in sci-fi, fantasy, horror. There was a couple of movies I had here that have already been picked.
Yeah. Which is why I made sure to pick those early.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a very on-brand pick, The Endless by Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. This is the epitome of a subgenre of sci-fi that I love, which is low budget, high concept, supremely well executed, super creative, on the verge of being something like a hybrid between low budget sci-fi, low budget light, super light horror themes. And in some cases, these guys, my goodness, they have a collection of films that I love, and they're made like, have you seen Primer? If you've seen Coherence,
then
you'll know
it's a good comparison. The moment you said Primer, I knew. Yeah.
You'll know what I mean. The story is so good, it does not matter anything else. This doesn't have the greatest acting performance of all time. The acting is not bad. I'm drafting this for the story and for the execution. These guys do so good. The Endless is about two brothers return to the cult they fled from years ago to discover that the group's beliefs may be more sane than they once thought. It's got elements of time travel. It's got this H.P. Lovecraft kind of cosmic horror thing going on, like lightly at the super big background. It is so original. It's almost campy because it's not shot on this high-grade film camera. It's just, you can tell this is a passion project by watching it. But let me tell you, it kicks ass with the best films of this year, particularly in this genre. My goodness.
We watched this together. It is a good film.
They have done so many other good projects together. This was my introduction to them. Oh my goodness. And they Something in the Dirt, they tried something briefly with using different actors rather than just using themselves. Like, these guys are like us. They are. They do what they love, and they do it because they love it. They're not trying to get rich. They're not trying to get famous. They are just creating, and they're awesome at what they do. And these guys are the filmmaking version of us. They are. End of story. Bam.
It's been said on the Film Dogs pod, Mr. B and Lord Marcus are like Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson.
It is so. I say it.
Good pick. Definitely, if you like that kind of sci-fi that we've mentioned in the past, it is something you should watch. Add it to your watch list. I am going to go for Award Darling, and the film is Dunkirk by Christopher Nolan. We knew that I was going to pick this movie. We knew that it was going to be safe because you wouldn't say you hate this movie. You respect this movie.
There's a couple I like a lot.
The soundtrack in this is awesome. It really drives the movie forward. There are a couple
of Christopher Nolan films that I enjoy. A couple. I don't think he's the most overrated director of all time. Just in the conversation.
Great cast put together. Tom Hardy, Mark Rylance, Kenneth Branagh, Barry Keoghan, Harry Styles shows up. It's a great film. It's 2017. If you haven't watched it yet, where have you been? But it tells the story of what happens in Dunkirk in World War II.
Enjoying good times and Get Out.
Allied soldiers
good movies
from Belgium, Britain, Canada, and France are trying to be evacuated, the Allied troops, because they were cut off and surrounded by German soldiers from the beaches and harbor of Dunkirk between May 26th and June 4th, 1940 during World War II. Phenomenal. I loved it. It won some awards. And I'm going to take it an awards, darling. I enjoyed it. I watch it often. Often enough.
If it is an American or an English-speaking World War II subject that is from the perspective of the British or the Americans, guaranteed safe for you. I will never draft a World War II movie that is not from the perspective of the Russians or the Germans.
Yeah.
It'll never happen.
That's why we're the film dogs.
I take it. I thought it was an interesting film, the way that it did his Christopher Nolan's little time thing.
I mean, you were in the Marines. Were you aware of this story before watching the movie at all?
No. No.
My father was a big Winston Churchill fan, so I knew a lot of World War II history growing up. So this was a story I was aware of, and it's compelling. It's worth your time as humanity to watch it. Mrs. B's watched it. She enjoys it as well, likes the interpretation with the soundtrack kind of driving the movie forward. Where are you going to go from here?
There was 4 total box office darlings.
Yeah.
I drafted one of them. You drafted 2 of them.
You're welcome.
Leaves 1 left. And it's one that I'm completely fine with.
I'm glad you're fine because you're drafting it.
Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott's last entry in the Alien franchise, Alien Covenant. Horribly underrated. Horribly misunderstood. The follow-up to Alien Prometheus. And man, I hope that Ridley Scott could come back and finish this storyline. So good. Michael Fassbender reprises his role as David, the android, who may or may not be the worst character in all of movie history for being human-friendly. It's possible that in one continuity line of this franchise that he is responsible for the plague of aliens being the scourge of the human universe. Danny McBride.
Yeah.
That's one funny dude, and this is a serious role for him. But it's entertaining for that. It's got Billy Crudup, if you're an Almost Famous. Like it has like these almost has-beens, but maybe not. That's such a bad thing to say. It's thematically resonant. I'm not like disrespecting. I'm a has-been. Michael Fassbender, Catherine Waterston from Inherent Vice that we've already talked about. My goodness, like it's a
great cast.
Here's the thing. So for fans that loved Alien Romulus, and we saw Alien Romulus together, and I thought that was a great theater experience. It was thrilling. It was so thrilling. And like, even though it might not have come close to cracking like as a top 10, it was a great night out. And the Alien franchise in a theater is the best way to see it. And this is a high entry on that. It is more for the, I would say, intellectually inclined than the action horror thriller enthusiast. I think this has improved with time and with age, and the real fans have been weeded out that are flavor of the week. This movie kicks fucking ass, and there is a lot of people that love this movie. There is a lot of people that think this is the best movie of the year, and rightfully so in this category, in this genre. It is so good. It's criminally underrated. It has its correct population. This is a Radiohead level deep cut of Ridley Scott's filmography. It is better than Gladiator 2. It is better than Exodus, Gods and Kings. It's one of the best movies that he's made in his late career. It's awesome. I can't stand people who disrespect this movie.
Don't disrespect the Scott.
For any reason.
Well, you've brought me to my last 2 because I have a comedy animated international and I've got a wild card, an extra wild card. So I've got 2 movies I can have that I get to talk about. And I'm first going to go with my second wild card, and I'm going to draft John Wick number 2. And Lord Marcus just made a face at me because he doesn't like John Wick. He doesn't respect John Wick.
Is that in your wild? He said that was your wild card.
My second wild card, yeah. Lord Marcus can also be wrong. And he's wrong because for modern action franchises, these movies are phenomenal. They're entertaining. The visuals are great. Chad Stahelski is the director. God bless you. Thank you for some action fun that's entertaining. We get Keanu Reeves.
I thought John Wick 2 fans were all MAGA boys.
Where'd you hear that? Because people that like action movies are Donald Trump fans?
Is that incorrect?
It's an action franchise. John Wick Part 2. Brings me to my last category.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm trying to pull out the old Marvel Cinematic Universe trick of reviving myself from death because I just died of boredom. John Wick 2.
Did it work? Are you alive again? Did we make another movie? Different director?
Have we moved on from fucking John Wick?
Well, could you imagine what my next film is that I'm going to draft?
John Wick 3?
I've frozen time and I've moved 2017 to be inclusive of John Wick Part 3.
Now I can't guess what you want. Is it Annie?
I'm going for, so my last category that I have tonight is comedy animated international. This is a movie you haven't seen. This is a movie you wouldn't draft. This is a movie that is amazing. This is a movie that has heart. This is a movie that tugs on your heartstrings. It's emotional. It's beautiful.
You've got Mail too.
It's directed by Paul King, and it's Paddington number 2.
Oh, yeah.
It is probably one of the best family/kids movies made in the last, 20 years. Starring Ben Whishaw as Paddington. It's It's got Sally Hawkins, Hugh Bonneville, Hugh Grant, and I moved by this movie. My children love this movie. Another film that if you look on the Letterboxd and you like to use that in your life as ratings, it's a film that is either more 5 stars than 4 stars, and it has a big sliding scale. People have either given it 4 or they've given it 5.
What about kind of like Barbie?
Is that what Barbie is as well, 4 and 5? Big sliding scales?
Because most of the people that care about such things.
Are you telling me that people that watch Barbie like Paddington too?
I'm sure they do.
Are you trying to branch me in that crew?
I don't need to try because you like Barbie. I do like Barbie. Yeah, like I'm not trying to do anything. I'm merely observing facts and stating them. I'm not making any rulings here.
Objection, Your Honor.
Subject yourself, honky.
Who would have thought that we would be closing out the 2017 draft with drafting Paddington 2? But that is what we have done. That is what I have done as Mr. B. It's a film that you should watch. If you're afraid to watch a family film or a kid's film because you'll get judged, draw the shades, turn it on, take a sick day so that people don't know that that's what you're doing is watching this movie, and then find yourself feeling warm-hearted, possibly tears in your eyes in certain moments, also inspired to watch Wes Anderson movies. Maybe you feel like laughing, all that stuff. This movie has it. It's got some great interpretations about dealing with hard people in life as well.
Mr. B, may I offer a question?
You may offer a question. It pleases me.
I'm going to offer this question. By deferring your number 1 pick, you got an extra wild card pick. Was having the extra wild card pick of John Wick 2 worth not having a ghost story?
No. I wasn't sure where Ghost Story was going to go. But then I look at the rest of my board, and it's pretty good. Should we go through them, or do you want to?
Yep, let's do it.
Is there anything you wanted to propose? Did you want to have any comments on my board? Because that is probably the comment of the pod. Was I happy deferring my first pick, now looking at the board, and also knowing I didn't get a Ghost Story? I'm bummed out about a Ghost Story. I am. But picks 1 through 5 for me, I'm really happy I have.
Okay, let me go through a brief recap, and then I'll give you an honest evaluation.
Oh, I would have thought you would lie to me on this podcast.
I do it all the time. Okay, for tonight's 2017 Film Dogs Draft, hosted by the most magnificent podcasters of all time.
All time.
On the subject of film. In drama, Lord Marcus took A Ghost Story by Mr. David Lowery. Sir David, thank you. In action thriller, I took Logan, the final chapter in the Wolverine trilogy, perhaps the best superhero treatise on aging. Oh, so good. In sci-fi fantasy horror, I took The Endless. In comedy, animated foreign language / non-English language, Revenge by Coralie Farjah. Box office darling, I took Alien Romulus by Ridley Scott. In awards darling, I took Phantom Thread by Paul Thomas Anderson. And in wild card by the master Yorgos Lanthimos, I took The Killing of a Sacred Deer.
I think that is a solid board. That is a solid draft that you've done there. My team looks like The Disaster Artist in drama, directed by James Franco. Good Times, directed by the Safdie Brothers. Get Out, in my sci-fi horror fantasy, directed by Jordan Peele. In comedy animated international, I have Paddington 2, directed by Paul King. In box office darling, I took Denis Villeneuve's Blade Runner 2049, which is a 1 out of 100 films. It's a masterpiece. It's great. In awards darling, I took Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. And in my first wild card, I was able to grab Mother by Darren Aronofsky. And in my second wild card, for some fun, I took John Wick 2, directed by Chad Stahelski. Lord Marcus, tell me about these two teams, about this board.
Honestly, okay, if I was to compare this to like a record collection, on the surface, Blade Runner 2049 combined with Get Out, combined with Mother ! Would seem like going into the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, a pretty tight lead.
Mm.
However, Good Times makes it like a 3-score lead. My goodness. If we were to take votes overall on this list, I would not be surprised if you came out substantially ahead. But I got to say, I am super happy.
I went more pop culture with mine, though. So when you're saying that, you're rating it from your point of view of what you think is good. Because I think the listener...
Yeah, but I love Blade Runner 49 so much. Like, dude, you've got 3 of my 5-star films. So I'm
playing the pop hits.
Blade Runner 2049, whether it's a popular hit or not, pop hits. So let's talk about pop hits.
Yeah, but I mean, pop hits, I got friggin' John Wick and I've got Paddington in here. Movies that you will never, ever draft.
Yeah, totally.
But a lot of people have watched them.
And you rightfully saved those for last. So your strategy was very sound. Like there was films that you wanted. You knew that there was no way I was going to take them. You took them last. Like, mad respect. I just say, like, for me, that kind of waters down the whole, do we only have so many of these films that we can draw from? But I would say, like, for the 1, 2, 3 punch that you're just like, if you were to compare it to sports, like Blade Runner is a Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And Bloody Mother is like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
And Get Out's like Scottie Pippen, dude, like it is like these guys are going to score.
Is Get Out or Good Times Scottie Pippen?
No, I would say like Good Times is Steve Kerr.
Okay, Good Times is Steve Kerr. What about Tony Kukoc? Anybody Tony Kukoc? Yeah. Dunkirk?
He's killing of sacred deer.
Yeah,
he got traded. He got traded.
He got traded.
I had to divorce myself from several of these movies. Like, it was really tough. Like, dude, I've changed these movies. Like, I've been awake at night in dream state and like changing things around. And everything always came back to Ghost Story. So, like, even if you had taken the proposal of trading all of my picks for 2018, one of my counter proposals would be like, well, how about I'll give you 4 of my picks. Let me have 3, but I want the first 3. I just want to make my first 3 picks in a row. Because I needed to have, like, Ghost Story was there. The other 2 that I would have picked would have been Mother and Killing of a Sacred Deer. So I got 2 of my top 3. I am super happy, but when I look at the final board and see that Blade Runner's not with me, it hurts. I see Get Out's not with me. It kind of feels like I'm saying, hey, I don't care about you, and I care about you. I care about both of you films deeply. And Mother, my God, I took the time to be like, I think Brent will love this movie. But he won't like it until it's over. How do I keep him? It's insane. Like, Mother is so my brand. I'll probably try to trade for it one day.
Interesting. Mother means a lot to me in a way that
I understand.
The Lighthouse does.
I did think it was going to be your number 1 pick. I would not have guessed. I wouldn't have changed my strategy. But I am surprised that you had Ghost Story over Mother. Mother was my guaranteed. I thought you were going to have that as first. Which kept it at number 1 for me for a while. And then I was like, you know what? Why am I doing that? I don't need to be Mr. B can't have good movies on his team. Like, I got to pick my number 1, Ghost Story. If I had only gotten Ghost Story, successful draft for me.
Very successful draft.
By the way, for the record, you picked 2017. So
correct. I had a quick look and I was like, this I think will be an interesting year to draft from because I didn't know what all your board looked like. I can rarely pick your entire board because you usually go left of field for a wild card or for somewhere else, which is why we do the pod. You might have a foreign film or some kind of international film that I would have never seen or heard of. And that's what also helps make it interesting. But I knew there was going to be a minimum of almost the first 5 picks duking it out of, okay, well, you took that one. Crap. Where am I going to go from here? I guess I'll have to take this one. Oh, you took that one? I guess I'm going to have to zag and go here. Otherwise, I think I'm going to lose this there. This was interesting for me.
I think it's extremely therapeutic. We have to learn how to detach ourselves from some of the emotions or at least prioritize our emotions. This is very therapeutic.
I want to thank you for listening to another episode of The Film Dogs. Follow along on our film journeys on Instagram under The Film Dogs or our Facebook page, Film Dogs. We also are on Letterboxd as Mr. B and Lord Marcus. This episode was co-produced by Lord Marcus and myself. It was recorded, edited, and mixed by Blurry Audio. Remember, life is too short for bad cinema.